It has been a while since we covered the full story of the 6th Ranger. So far we have covered every single one, from Tommy Oliver as the Green Ranger all the way up to the SPD Omega Ranger. You can check out any of these videos on the channel as individual videos, or they have been gathered into collection videos, available in 2 parts so far. We are now on to Power Rangers Mystic Force, which means in today's video I will be covering the full story of Daggeron, also known as the Solaris Knight. Let's get into it. Now, Daggeron is an interesting character in terms of 6th Rangers, as technically, within the show, he's not really considered to be a Power Ranger, but he ultimately identifies with the Mystic Rangers and acts as their 6th Ranger, similar, I suppose, to the Magna Defender. He is an extremely stern and resolute warrior type, and although he appears to look human, he's actually one of the ancient mystics, which are the benevolent magical beings that the Mystic Rangers get their powers from. If you guys would like a full video on that as a topic, be sure to let me know. He was trained by Liambo, who is a character of great importance in this season, being the husband of Udonna as well as the Night Wolf and the Wolf Warrior. Anyway, Daggeron went missing for 19 years after the end of the Great Battle, after sealing himself in a cave to prevent Kalendor from escaping. This is just before he was turned into a frog. Yes, a frog. By the way, the Great War was a battle that was fought between the Mystic Wizards and the forces of the Underworld. Essentially a battle that was continued after the arrival of the Mystic Rangers. So Daggeron being a frog is essentially where his story begins in Mystic Force. When Madison, the blue Mystic Force Ranger, kisses the frog, it turns back into human form, revealing Daggeron, explaining that the kiss broke the curse that initially turned him into the frog. Daggeron takes up the task of training the Rangers in the use of their magic. He truly wants the Rangers to reach their absolute potential, and so is very strict on them. Strict, but fair. Daggeron is enemies with Imperius, one of the main villains of the show. At the very start of the story, Daggeron accepts a challenge from Imperius to finish what they started 19 years ago. But it was a trap, and Imperius stole the Solar Streak Megazord's power in order to use a forbidden spell to create the Chimera monster, which, from how it seemed, destroyed Daggeron. Thanks to Genji, however, Daggeron's genie cat thing, Daggeron survived and rides the mystical unicorn Brightstar to help the Rangers before settling things with Imperius for good in a bound battle to the death. Imperius cheats and wounds Daggeron, but through his determination and honour, Daggeron is able to destroy his old enemy. At one point, Udonna leaves to find Liambo, so Daggeron is left to oversee the Rangers' activities until she gets back. Around this time, he gains a new nemesis in Megahorn of the 10 Terrors. Megahorn broke the rules of darkness once already in the episode The Hunter, secretly going up to the surface without being chosen. He fought against Daggeron, who had been busy training with Genji. Megahorn wanted to destroy Daggeron to impress the Master and become the main terror. He nearly succeeded in destroying Daggeron, but the fight was intervened and he was forced to leave. Still, Megahorn vowed that he would face the Solaris Knight once again, although Daggeron and the Rangers, with the use of the Megasword, would eventually defeat Megahorn. During the great final battle of the season, Daggeron is killed by Optimus the Master, the main villain of the series and the true leader of the Forces of Darkness and Supreme Master of the Underworld. Optimus had Daggeron's powers stripped away when he attempted to push Liambo out of the way of a barrage of energy tentacles that the Master had thrown at them. However, he was later revived by Necroli at Lily's behest and helped the Mystic Rangers in destroying Optimus once and for all. Itasis then approached Daggeron, seeking knowledge of honor. It can be presumed that following the events of Mystic Force, he became a Mystic Master akin to the Snow Prince. And that's pretty much it, guys. Daggeron's story isn't particularly a long one. Of course, if you want to know all the details and moments of his story, then you should definitely go back and watch the show Mystic Force. Speaking of which, something I have been thinking of doing for a while now is a retrospective watch through all of Power Rangers, where basically I sit down and watch each episode of Power Rangers, starting with Mighty Morphin and moving through all the seasons, reacting and reviewing each episode. Is this something you guys would be interested in watching? I could potentially put a timestamp on the screen so you guys could watch the episode along with me from home. It could be fun. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check out the channel we have been working on recently, Attitude Wrestling. It's all about pro wrestling, WWE, AEW, and specifically Attitude Era stuff. Check that out and please consider subscribing. Anyway, that's it from me today, my friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. May the power protect you, and I will see you next time on the 6th Ranger.